me fix it. Hello. I actually was on time. Thank you very much. And I was having internet issues, so you're welcome for fixing it. How's everybody doing? Yeah. I also just made an announcement. Well, I didn't make an announcement, but I mentioned to everybody that I was having internet issues. So we'll wait until everybody arrives because I didn't think I was going to be able to stream tonight. I'll change that. Hello. Perfect. Wait, what did you do, Stan? Helping my friend private job. You know what? Fair trade. Fair trade. I would say it's fair trade. Yeah. I would do stuff for that. Absolutely. 100%. I'm gonna be super honest. If it starts to lag or if it starts to like buffer a lot, the internet wasn't working. So I don't know how much it's gonna be working throughout this. So we'll kind of like see how far we can get to. I would like to get at least like 1-2 chapters minimum. We'll see if I can get anything more. Pretty much it. But we'll start now. So chapter 769, Sacrificing to Oneself. 10 at night, background was drizzling again as a thin fog produced a blurry sense of beauty amidst the street lamps. Isengard Stanton's assistant, Bowen, surveyed the bottom level once before walking to the side of the oriel window and was prepared to shut the final window. At that moment, a shadow sculled into the landing. Firmly on the protruding wall. It was a blue, short-furred stray cat. Bowen saw the large pair of yellow eyes looking at it as he couldn't help but chuckle. There's no food here. As a detective, work made him prone to revenge, and him having many secrets to hide, Isengard Stanton cook and servants were paid by the hour. They were a fixed number of hours a day, and they would prepare too much food. This made it difficult for there to be any leftovers after dinner. The blue cat opened its mouth and didn't produce any meowing sounds. It began speaking like a human. I'm Sherlock Moriarty. I'm here to meet Mr. Isengard Stanton. Although Bowen was a beyonder who was nurtured by the Church of God and Knowledge and Wisdom, he was a low-sequence beyonder, and his horizons were stilled. This was the first time he was encountering a speaking cat, so he was momentarily shocked and dazed. After a few seconds, he came to his senses and recalled what the cat had just said. It said it's Sherlock Moriarty. This great detective really isn't simple. He actually changed into a cat. No, controlled a cat. Dude, honestly, I feel like if Klein was an animal, it would be a cat. He would be a cat person. Such powers are really strange and terrifying. Bowen rapidly calmed down and didn't directly answer the cat. He reached out and closed the windows. After doing all of this, he said with a suppressed voice, "Follow me." The cat immediately leaped from the platform behind the oriel window as it agilely followed behind Bowen with its tail up. Well, David, if you were here when I started, I would have said that I fixed it and was on time. Thank you very much. Harsh. He was enjoying his tobacco before sleeping. Bowen cautiously pointed to the crouched blue cat beside him. Mr. Sherlock Moriarty is looking for you. Isengard, with his white sideburns, thin face, raised his brows slightly and looked down. He took 2 steps back and allowed the blue cat to saunter into his bedroom. Return to your room and get some sleep. Wake up as per normal tomorrow. We still have a case awaiting us. Isengard instructed Bowen and thought nothing had happened. As though nothing had happened. After his assistant left him, he closed the door and turned to look at the blue cat who was sitting beside the reclining chair. He chuckled. "I never expected you to have such beyonder powers. I was worried you would directly come over." "I noticed your exclamation mark," the cat said with a smile. It had to be said that having such an expression shown on a cat's face was rather odd. It left anyone who witnessed it feel a chill run down their back. Isengard didn't react normally towards that, as he sucked at his pipe, sat on the reclining chair, and slowly exhaled in comfort. He said with a smile, "I trust your intelligence." Thank you for your compliments." The cat politely reached out and paused and bowed. Isengard observed it and rubbed its pipe with a small smiling. "You should have understood what is happening. Those people don't dare to monitor me too strictly, afraid that they would discover them and end up telling the Church of Evernight and the Church of Steam. So even though it would be quite troublesome for them to get exposed, I believe that they have a demigod among them. This is a deduction and is also based in certain feedback. After all, I've lived on the street for years, therefore humans and animals wouldn't be stopped from entering my house. I believe you've already figured that out, but when leaving, you'll definitely be tailed and tracked. Do you have the means to evade their tracking? The sum of money isn't a small one. Bringing it out would be quite conspicuous. Let me think. Were you planning on conferring with me in order to get the money into a particular bank account, and then you'll find many people to withdraw them in different parts of Backland?" Upon saying that, Isengard said with a self-deprecating smile, "This is the best solution I can think of, but carrying it out would be extremely troublesome." The cat didn't give a direct response, as it gave a deep chuckle. "I only need you to lend me an empty room and 3 candles." "No problem," Isengard said, and didn't press the issue, as he said the shares were sold for they were sold for £12,000. That's crazy. The buyer is a daughter of Earl Hall, Audrey, while the hiring of lawyers and accountants, as well as the publishing of the advertising, cost a total of £600. In addition, there was a 0.5 stamp duty and a 20% D-type tax, so at the end of the day, there's only £8,940 left. Dude, Klein's got money. D-type tax were a tax on commercial, financial, and specialized income. There's tax. More than £2,000 are gone just like that. The cat's expression instantly froze. Klein was formerly a Nighthawk, and his salary was tax-free. Later, as a private detective, his income was different to be monitored, so he never declared his income for the tax purposes. That sounds like tax evasion to me, Klein. So let's just add that onto the list of already existing crimes that he has done, which is staggeringly long. So he never declared his income for tax purposes. Later, he became an adventurer, and since the boundaries targeted at pirates enjoyed concessions, there was no need for him to pay taxes on them. Hence, he never realized that tax was something he needed to pay. Therefore, back when Isengard Stanton had mentioned taxes, he hadn't taken it to heart, believing that it wouldn't be much. However, reality had given him a heavy beating. No, dude, I feel like it would be fun to just spend a stream going through all of Klein's crimes that he's done, and then David, as an experienced lawyer, you know, we could do a mock trial. Come prepared with like a speech as to why he's an innocent man. I've already checked them. They wouldn't do any cheap tricks on that, as they would an insult to my intelligence. Isengard stood up with his pipe. "Remember to send me a signed letter of confirmation by mail later." "It's already on its way," the cat replied, prepared. First off, I don't need a trial. I was acquitted of all my crimes after I gave my speech at the beginning of the Volume 3 finale. So, I'm a free woman. I have immunity. Isengard walked to the safe inside the master bed. And also, I have no crimes. Taking it back, everything was alleged and slander. Defamation of my name. Then he took out a stack of cash and stuffed it into the different briefcases. Following that, he left the master bedroom with these briefcases and entered a guest room diagonally opposite the master bedroom. "Check it." Isengard Stanton placed the briefcase filled with cash on the ground as he said to the cat that followed him in. "I trust you," the cat said after taking a few glances. Isengard nodded and pointed to the cabinet. "There are candles inside." With that said, he left the door, held the doorknob, and said with a smile, "I'm really curious how you would leave. I believe it will be a very exciting magic show." Isengard Stanton closed the door, and with a click, leaving the guest room silent and bleak. At the cat's side, a figure dressed in dark red coat and an old triangular hat appeared. It was none other than Klein's marionette Wraith Sr. That's what I'm wondering. Are you guys all becoming lawyers? He found the candles and quickly set up a simple altar, skipping over many of the first few steps. He directly muttered in Elvish, "Blessed of the sea and spear world, guardian of the Roasted Archipelago, ruler of the underground creatures, masters of tsunamis and storms, the great Kalvatua, your devoted servant pays for your attention. I pray for you to take his offerings. I pray for you to open the gates of your kingdom." The wind inside the wall of spirituality suddenly grew in intensity as Senior quickly sliced the back of his hand and threw a few drops of blood. As a Sequence 5 Wraith, everything on him was materialized with the rich in spirituality. The strong wind sucked up the blood, howling as it drilled into the candle flame and symbolized sea god Kalvatua. The flame begrudged, foaming an illusory door filled with magic labels and symbols. After about 10 seconds, the door let out a heavy creak and it slowly opened. One by one, Senior lifted up the briefcases filled with money and threw them into the illusory door. When there was almost none left, the gold coin he stored in his body flew out and landed on the altar. The Wraith's figure then disappeared, projecting onto a smooth side of the gold coin. The gold coin trembled as it flew up, hitched a ride on a briefcase and entered the illusory door of sacrifice. Silently, the mysterious door closed as the 3 candle light were restored to normal. At that moment, the blue, short-furred cat seemed to recover its senses. It looked around blankly as it meowed. After a while, Isengard opened the door and entered, finding all the briefcases with the cash gone. There was only 3 candles burning silently as the blue, short-furred cat was warily arching its back at him. While he scrutinized this scene, a rental carriage slowly drove past on the fork on the other end of the street. On the same night, in the building inside Cherrywood Burrow, Shio returned home under the drizzle. We're getting a lot of Shio lately. Is she gonna join the tarot club? Her hair with a towel, she said to Fours, "Your letter has been mailed." Fours tersely answered. She began to guess what her teacher would respond. At that moment, Shio put down the towel and quipped, "There's news about Mr. X's gathering. It'll still be at the same place on Friday night. Great, I can tell Mr. World. I wondered how much I'll need to pay." Four's eyes lit up when she heard that. Before she could ask about the details, Shio's added, "Mr. X also gave a mission that said he have handed rewards. It's time to inform him of people around them that have abnormal luck." Yeah, because honestly, here's the thing. Shio doesn't do much, and she's never, really done much. I don't know how much of a benefit she would be to the tarot club, but we're getting a lot of her POV, which I don't understand. I don't really know. Before she could ask about the details, Shio added, "Mr. X also gave a mission that said to have hand some rewards. It's information about people around them that have abnormal luck." People with abnormal luck, Forrest muttered in puzzlement. Is the man's brain working? Who would divulge things around them with such gatherings? Either join or a horrific death in this volume ending to motivate Forrest to advance. That would actually not be a bad idea. Does Shio die? I feel like that would be a really good plot line for Fours, Just gotta sacrifice her, I guess. People with abnormal luck, Fours muttered in puzzlement. It's a man's brain working. Who would divulge such things around them at such a gathering? This will make it easy for others to discover their true identities. Who knows, perhaps he really is a lunatic. Shio didn't know anyone with abnormal luck, so she answered without much thought. Four scarcely thought for a moment, but she failed to figure out the true intentions behind the mission. All she could do was throw it in the back of her mind. She planned on praying to Mr. Fool once Shio went out to take a bath, passing the relevant information to the world Gammon Sparrow. Chapter 770. This is about Derek, because he's, a child. That's what I'm thinking. There's just like nothing, like here's the thing, and this is also why I didn't like fours, is like there's nothing, like obviously there's so much left in the book, but there's really not so much left in the book because the rest of the volumes are so much shorter. They just don't do anything, like they don't give anything. Fours now kind of gives like a really cool like story, and she's doing more in this, but I feel like Shio's just kind of still there, you know? I don't know, if Shio's plotline is kind of like the beginnings of other people's plot lines, which we've already had, so it's just not really interesting. Fixed it. Mr. X is looking for people with abnormal luck. Above the grey fog, Klein ruminated over the information Miss Magician had provided in an attempt to analyze anything of use. After thinking to no avail, he decided to approach it from another angle. His first recalled the people who had abnormal luck around him to see if there were any connections. The fog ceased strong as Hunter Anderson Hood counts as one. Dr. Aaron Saris is another. Both of them were affected by one of the snakes of fate, Angel of Fate or Ouroboros. Was one of the creators of the Rose Redemption. The secret organization supports the believes the true creator. The Aurora Order is equivalent to the True Creator's Church. In a series of circumstances surfaced in Klein's mind as he quickly came to the conclusion, this is the Angel of Fate, Aurora Boreas attempt to search for the snake. Question. So you know how there was like 8 angels that were the ancient sun gods angels? You know how I said yesterday how like Adam and Amon are fighting each other? Aren't all of them fighting each other? And then Adam and Amon just have like the biggest head start, but they're all trying to get at each other, and that's why they create little cults and like little things. Okay. This is the Angel of Fate, Ouroboros' attempt to search for Snake of Fate, Will Septon. He is deriving the members of the Aurora Order to help him find Snake of Mercury, Will Septon. This implies that behind Mr. X there's a king of angels existing somewhere in Backland. Here's the thing, what I'm wondering is, so everybody, I wonder if they all know about the Grey Fog too. Like, do they all know that the Grey Fog is a thing, and then maybe they like want the Grey Fog? Stan, you're supposed to be on my side. Why are you? I'm yapping because I'm trying to figure out the story. Under such circumstances, assassinating Mr. X will be equivalent to having a death wish. It's no wonder Mr. X doesn't care about the uniqueness of Backland. The official factions would have most imagined that he was a saint backing him. In the official dossier, the Aurora Order only has 5 saints. This way, they'll respond in the wrong manner. After Klein made his judgment, and first thought he had was to decline Miss Magician's request and also to warn her not to provoke Mr. X. If it wasn't because sounding the alarm might affect Snake of Mercury, Will Septon, while the Church of the Evernight Goddess clearly has records of Dr. Aaron's cease bout of bad luck, Klein would have gotten Miss Magician to report both the Angel of Fate, Ouroboros, and Mr. X to the particular church. He claimed through another few seconds of conjure that the world Garamond Sparrow, making him pray in the Grey Fog. I'll confirm the situation and give you a reply tomorrow. He didn't directly reject her commission, as he planned on first asking Snake of Mercury Will. Is it really that hard to defend me? I feel like I'm not as bad as you guys make me out to be. It's just, here's the thing. It's just when everybody is ganging up on you, it's hard. But it's not true, you know? No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She does not need another test. I don't think I need another test for a while. And I also passed the last test. Let's start here. I passed the last test. You guys cheated. So. I don't need to blackmail you to defend me. I just have blackmail on you in case you decide not to defend me. There's a difference, you know? One of them is blackmail, the other one is Dario! Questionable way to enter the chat. Questionable way to enter the chat, I will say. However, welcome. I think the comment got monetized for, you know, obvious reasons. Thank you. And you guys did cheat. You understand that I passed. You guys added marks that ended up bringing my grade down. The members of your order are searching for people with abnormal luck. I wonder if you know how to use the Worm of Time to create charms. You know, Dario, you were cool the last couple times, and now you're kind of, we're kind of slipping back into very questionable comments that, you know, not super loving. I wonder if you know how to use the Worm of Time to create charms. Does your placenta blood count as a mythical creature's blood? If it does, I hope to obtain 1 drop. What price would I have to offer? That's what I'm saying. Like, next time I do a quiz, can I not do negative scores? I feel like I would do a lot better if I didn't do negative scores. That way he had no idea if he was joking or speaking the truth. Although there's no organization that believes in the Snake of Fate, there are certain areas that believe in the God of Luck. It's considered a traditional custom. Perhaps they are an alternative identity of Willow Septon or Ouroboros. Klein mumbled silently and used the best of the clown ability before managing to refold the paper crane. He then placed it underneath his pillow. After doing all of that, he had the time to calculate how much cash he had: 17,046 pounds, 5 gold coins, 3 solly, and 8 pence and change. If I had assessed like a house, manor, or company, he got money, dude. Having so much liquid assets would make me quite a tycoon in Backland. Of course, I'm still very far from being a top tycoon. To reach them, one's overall assets needs to be £1 million. As Klein was glad that he had quite a bit of money, he recalled his debts as well as the large investments that he needed to make in order to develop his persona image. So he's just like, he's burning it as fast as he's getting it. He then drank a mouthful of water, got into bed, and covered himself with light but warm blankets before he slowly fell asleep. Amidst his reverie, Klein suddenly snapped awake and saw the desolate black plains. He walked all the way to the pitch-black steeple in the middle of the plains, passing through the chaotic and abnormal layout before coming deep into the steeple. Like before, there was a circle of tarot cards on the ground. However, the protruding area in the middle of the tarot cards didn't have any silver lines written. Willow Septon didn't give a reply. Then, why did he pull me into a dream? Amidst Klein's puzzlement, he suddenly saw a black baby pram roll out of the shadows. In it was an infant whose looks were indiscernible, while it was wrapped in silver silk. Mr. Snake of Fate, Klein politely and cautiously asked. The infant immediately said in a clear voice, "What makes you so unsure, mister? Isn't that determined from your name?" Don't mind such details. Klein lampooned and relaxed due to the attitude he was given. Then, how may I address you? Willis, up in his baby form, tersely answered, as it said, stumped. I haven't decided. As you know, oh, you don't. Every time I start again, I try and make myself a little different, so as to maintain a good mental state. A child should act like a child while they're a child. Klein's heart stirred while he heard that. Is this the way the monster pathway maintains its reasoning, so you resist madness? In the black pram, Willis Upton replied briskly. Yes, every beginning washes away the madness. However, it still needs certain anchoring from faith, otherwise I wouldn't be able to maintain my state as a sequence one for long. Compared to before, you're becoming more and more knowledgeable. Oh, apart from anchoring oneself with fate, there are other ways to resist the madness. However, restarting is clearly an ability of sequence one snake of fate of the monster pathway. Other Beyonder pathways aren't able to emulate that. Mr. Azek is constantly losing his memories and reportedly finding himself. Does it also involve the same concept? Klein nodded in thought as he made every single count by asking. I know, I did a TikTok, and it was an Amon and Derek TikTok. I know. I finally did one. And then tomorrow I'm gonna do, I just didn't do it today because I was busy today, but tomorrow I'm gonna do a review of where I'm at in the book. Oh, loved the photo. Thank you so much. So great. Just waiting for the rest of them to pop up. So tomorrow I'm gonna do a review based on like where I'm at, and I'll probably just do that on YouTube because I feel like it'll be really long. And then I'm also going to go through all the clips and make a compilation of clips because I need to. And then, as I was told to do, gonna post the shorts on YouTube. But I'm just gonna do that tomorrow. I've been playing hide and seek with him for a very long time. He isn't good at such matters. It's quite obvious that he doesn't have a childhood every time he restarts. He grows up beside the true creator. He lacks the psychology experience of different stages in life, causing him to be very crazy at times. But of course, he doesn't mind. I expect nothing less than the comments of slander. I did inform Ricardo to use the die of probability in certain places and lean marks. This will mess up Aurora Bore's judgment. He will soon leave Backland once again. This means there's still a chance of assassinating Mr. X. Yes, when the time comes, I'll divine the level of danger above the Great Fog. Klein didn't continue on the topic as he asked, do you know how to use the Worm of Time to create charms? Willis Upton didn't directly answer and instead returned to the question. Bro, I get nothing but slander. Let's be real. Willis Upton didn't directly answer and instead returned to the question. You obtained a Worm of Time from Palazorast. How did you know? Klein was taken aback as he asked. He wasn't surprised that Willis Upton had managed to mention the origins of the Worm of Time. After all, there weren't many demigods in the Mortar pathway who could create avatars, but why he hadn't assumed that the blasphemer Aemon the latter could also leave behind a Worm of Time. Willis Upton smiled and said, Palazorast isn't in good condition and he had to parasitize your former colleague. Ah, right, your former colleague was investigating Sherlock Moriarty and had to enter my house in the middle of the night. Interesting. I sensed that there was something problematic about him, and had given him a short period of bad luck, causing him to encounter other demigods hidden in Backland, and when he was in danger, Palazorast had taken action. It wouldn't have been fine even if he hadn't taken action. It only a prank, and I would have given your former colleague sufficient good luck with the critical moment. Leonard is investigating Sherlock Moriarty. The grandpa in his body is called Palazorast. Klein frowned slightly, unsure where the problem stemmed from. Willis Upton continued the creation of the worm and time charm isn't too difficult for you. You can pray to the uniqueness trait about you and use the compound of mercury and pure silver as a medium to draw the corresponding symbols. It's not too difficult. Pray the fool. That's right. The mysterious space above the Great Fog clearly has a form of attraction in the Mortar pathway. Klein was thrilled as he felt that he had grasped something. At that moment, Will smiled and added, as for the corresponding symbol, I have no idea. What a huge reversal. Klein couldn't help but twitch the corners of his lips. To the mute.